Please get off the internet. All right. Hey. Well, I wanted to say hello from Cabin Talk. I'm out here hanging out with some of my buddies. This is that's Tatsu and that's Debbie, and we're out here broadcasting live from Cabin Talk in Vermont. Just sitting on the porch, hanging out, just having a little fun. Let me get my comments up here for a second, y'all. Let me take out the echo. Hey, good morning, Sister Diane and Michelle. I see Brother Sean coming in. Got a few things I want to talk about today. Today from Vermont, it is Get in Trouble Friday. Boy, it's Get in Trouble. We're going to get in trouble today. I got a few ones. Everybody wants to keep. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, brother. I hit the side of your face. I'm sorry. Oh, what? I'm getting a little too touchy. My bad. Tat, hey, chill, brother, chill. So, but anyway, can y'all hear me? Can I get a thumbs up? Is my signal going good today? On happy Friday, Brother Sean, TGIF, the day that we're reminded of our corporate rule and our misery and pain and the different levels of slavery we all live in, whether it's a physical slavery or financial slavery, corporate slavery. We all some slaves, y'all. It all depends on how far you are from the big house. Some of y'all are up on the porch. Others are further out. So y'all can hear me good. I see some thumbs up, so I think that means that y'all can hear me. So I think it's good. But we're gonna get in trouble today. So I got a few. I'm hanging out here. So seriously though, I didn't go to Cabin Talk this weekend. I apologize to my brothers and sisters who went. I didn't go because, really, to be perfectly honest with you, it's just racism, man. I couldn't go. I wanted to go with y'all, but there's some things that y'all don't know about black people. Y'all don't know this about black people. Certain things that maybe I'll show you. I like pictures because sometimes pictures, they kind of explain racism best. There's something that no matter where you look, in Africa, they didn't have these things. I'm sorry, Debbie, I got to put that in your face right there. They didn't have those things in Africa, right? So let me sit back. When it comes to running, we don't play. We're not playing. They might have had some money. If it can outrun a German Shepherd, if it comes close to outrunning it, better yet, let me put it this way. If a German Shepherd will run from it, you can expect that I ain't gonna be there. I know y'all got bears up there, so I'll wait till the next Cabin Talk. I'll wait till y'all had the next one. And at the next one, if nobody got 8 on this one, then I might come out there and hang out and party with y'all. But that right there, that ain't happening. Listen, you know what? And the other thing is, y'all don't pay attention to detail, which is why I try to pay attention to detail and little detail. I got another one for you. Hold on. We got more pictures. We got bang. See, I'm sorry, Tat. I keep it. You know what? That's not fair because I put that's all in Debbie's face. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Let me take that out there. Okay, there we go. If you weigh 1,000 pounds, if you weigh 400 pounds and you can fly, listen, I'm going to tell you, in Africa, nothing flew like that. Nothing flew like that. If you can fly for some fish, man, you're going to be in Vermont by yourself. So y'all have fun with the bears. Nah. I should have went. I would have went. Y'all, I couldn't go. I wish I could have hung out with y'all. I knew it was going to be a good time, but I have some previous obligations. I couldn't go, but I still want to see if anybody gets chewed on. If you get your foot chewed on, you. But listen, in Pennsylvania, every now and then, every now and again, a bear will come down here. All right, one little bear, he'll be on the news, and most times it's a black bear. We had, because they come down from the Poconos, we had a brown bear come down this. Listen, you think I didn't lock the doors? Again, we don't do that. So, and y'all don't pay attention to detail. Y'all don't pay attention to details. If y'all saw their broadcast this morning, and they did a second one too. They're doing belly dancing up there. So you gotta watch and see Brother Tatsu do the belly dance. That's gonna be some interesting stuff. But I was paying attention to the broadcast this morning, and actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stop. So I'm gonna get serious. Okay, that's not what I'm here for. But I'm hanging out with my cats up here in Vermont, because we gotta talk about some stuff today. We gotta get in trouble today. We gotta. It doesn't seem that sanity is anywhere in any of these conversations, and so. Oh, you know what? I gotta change. I'm like leaning on the edge of the chair. Hold on. So y'all have a good time there at Cabin Talk. We miss y'all. Keep the broadcast coming, but I'm gonna have to switch over to. I need to go somewhere real quick. Hold on. Oh yeah, guess where I'm at? I'm in America. I think this is Ohio State slavery. Y'all see all them brothers back there? Y'all see all the brothers? Hey, see, we can't talk about Black Lives Mattering and white lives mattering unless we're in the prison system. We got to get on the plantation. Like we have to really talk about like why all of this exists and why people are so angry on both sides that they would almost want to go to prison. Why the laws are orchestrated to throw them all in prison. And this insane idea about why are they fighting each other? But y'all see this back here? Y'all see how they stacked them brothers in there, brothers and sisters all in there? In chattel slavery, they had a little more room possibly than these brothers have back here. So this is just more of that evidence, more of that stuff I talk about. When you want to sit there and you want to talk about some dead people from 200 years ago and dead slavery, and you want to, this is okay. All this modern slavery up here is okay. And this is why, I listen to y'all talk, but when the politicians start talking about slavery, I turn it all off. It's done. You're a part of this. You're not reducing this. You're not stopping this. Not me. And over 60% of all these folks are peaceful. They did something peaceful. It wasn't even like a violent crime or anything. Talking to the wrong person. We're not even having a conversation about what you think about some slavers from 200 years ago, and you're doing some slavery today. So I want to talk about something. This is what I'm gonna have to do. Let me shrink myself a little bit. Let me get out the way because I'm not the important aspect. And I appreciate y'all sharing. Let me get under this dude cot right here. Who's that brother right there? Let me get under his cot, a little smaller. Okay, that's good. That's a good spot. So, appreciate your shares and your comments, by the way. I read every single comment. To me, this is way too important. This is like major contradictory times. And so it's got to point out the BS and the contradictions. So, but yeah, I read all the comments. I'm going to do some signs. Can we do some signs this morning? Because I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think the media lies about these groups. If you watch television, in which I do my best to avoid it as much as I can, they always paint these pictures about what the groups are about. And what I want to see is I want to go through some of the rallies, if y'all don't mind. I think if you look at some of the signs from some of this stuff, we could maybe start to figure out who these people are, and maybe we can come to some agreement about what's important and what's not important. So anyway, this is a rally. I think this is from, I would imagine it's from White Lives Matter. The brother has a shirt that says White Lives Matter on it. And it says hate crimes for one, hate crimes for one, hate crimes for all, equal justice under the law. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't. I guess there's something that I'm not seeing, but if that is his message, that sounds like a good message to me, right? That's equality. If you hurt somebody because of their race, their gender, their sexual preference, you should equally you're a violent person. You actually belong well, you don't belong in that place back there because they put them brothers in there tighter than slave ships. So I don't have an issue with that. He's got a shirt that says White Lives Matter on there. Man, I got a lot of white friends. I grew up with white friends and black friends, and I work with them, and I love them. They're kids, my kids. We play soccer together and baseball and basketball, and I think every white life matters. So I don't have any issue with that. Sorry if you do, but being the first sign that I see, I think I'm all good with that. Let's look at another example here. Let's see what else we can find. Maybe we can talk about what these groups are all about. So there's another one. And I think this looks like this is I almost said Kill Bill. Oh no, Kill the Bill. That's a good movie. Kill the Bill. Okay, this is about the crime bill. Stop the criminal justice bill. Okay, I'm with that. I understand. I assume this was a search for Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter. So I imagine this is either Black Lives Matter or White Lives Matter. But I can't even tell which one this is because the crime bill is actually what put all these brothers back. You see all the brothers back here? That's why they're all there. That's the Clinton crime bill. That's that Democrat thing. Republicans weren't innocent. They jumped right in it, where they built out more prisons than any president in history. They shut off welfare, and all of these folks, white and black, fell right into the prison system. Why? Because if people can't eat and they can't drink and they don't have equal access to things that you need to live, it puts you in survival mode. If you're in survival mode, you're going to do what you have to do. Like I always say, you could be the sweetest pastor from the nicest church, and if your kids are starving, you're going to do some real horrible things. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. So anyway, so I don't have a problem with that sign. That sign actually makes sense to me. It's not what I'm seeing in the media. In the media, you see a bunch of angry people yelling and screaming and fights and all this stuff. A brother said something today that was deep. Brother Garrett was on the thread this morning. He said there's a difference between he said there's a difference between the Black Lives Matter group and the Black Lives Matter movement. And I had to think about that for a minute. That was kind of deep because maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're talking about this the wrong way. Maybe the White Lives Matter movement is a very positive thing. And it's a very strong thing that we all need to be behind. And the Black Lives Matter movement is a very strong and a very powerful and a pride thing that we all need to be behind. And maybe it's just the groups that kind of have a few extremist members who kind of get into entanglements with each other and the police. And maybe that's where we need to back up from. So maybe we got to talk about it a little differently. And so it was just a deep thing the brother said, which I, might need to change how we talk about it. So anyway, a couple more signs. Let's see what we got here. Stop killing us. I agree. I don't think you should be killing anybody. I believe in the rule of force and violence. If somebody's killing you, that's a violation. That's the word violence. And so I agree with that. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. I agree with that. I think the one in the back says, stop shooting us. I agree. You should not be shot. If you are non-violent, which brings up a good question anyway. Why in the hell do police have lethal force and citizens don't? You would think that they would use these rubber bullets a little more than the real bullets, but I don't know. Maybe that's just crazy talk. So I agree with that. Stop killing us. I think y'all should stop killing them. I'm afraid we don't focus enough on why the killing is happening, but We'll get there. We'll get there. So let's keep going. What other signs I see here? I'm gonna pull up some other signs. What y'all about? What y'all about? Some more of this. Okay, well, this is another same sign. Stop killing us. I'm with that. Although I'm not sure that that makes sense to have that there, because I think that's the White House in the background. Is that the White House? Yeah, well, you know, and that might actually make sense, because has any house killed more people in the history of the human race than the White House? I wonder. I think somebody should do a study into that. I think somebody should look into the Genghis Khan. Who's it? You got Mao, you got Stalin, you got all of these characters, and you can throw Putin in there too, because y'all know Russia did it. Russia. You know, you can throw Putin in there too. But has anybody, has any organization, has any house, has any country authorized the murder of more human beings than the White House? So I like that. I like that sign, and I think that's well placed. Stop killing each other. That's it, Mary. Stop killing each other. Why? Because we're human beings. Why would you want to kill somebody? But I think that gets into this whole trying to fight hate with hate nonsense, right? Like you're going to fight the hate with hate, and you know that never works. I have to, you know what? I have to, man, I'm not even sure if I can do this, but I would love, I got to get my technology together. I think we might watch a video, y'all. I think anyway. So let's see what other signs we got. What else is going on? What is everybody angry about? Y'all angry? Let's see what we got here. White lives matter. Once again, I agree with that. I can't read the sign that well. It says I'm gonna have to open this. And another. This is why you get old. You can't see things so well. Hang on. All right, let me do this. Very inaccurate. Okay, hate crimes. Okay, that's the same one. Okay, but there's another sign in the background. Stop hate crime laws are hate crimes. Hate crime laws are hate crimes. Okay. Okay, brother. I'm thinking about that. Hate crime laws are hate crimes. I'm trying to process what he could mean by that. Hate crime laws are hate crimes. So I assume that if are we prosecuting differently because okay, so okay, I'm a guess. I'm gonna take a guess. Okay, so what I read on that is that there's a list of groups that they discriminate against for the hate crimes, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. So you have to fit in one of those groups for it to qualify as hate. That I got an issue with. I have an issue with that because obviously that is discrimination. That is discrimination. So that's something to kind of think about. Is why would they do that? Why would they say? So I guess as an example, if you're of European descent and okay, well, let's talk about what the hate crimes are first of all, how I understand it to be. So if you are in an altercation with somebody and you throw out a racial slur or a slur about sexual preference or religion or something like that, if that person is in that group that's protected, it's called a hate crime, and it means that it's a federal offense. It's a felony, which means that you end up in that prison back there with them brothers, and they stack you in like a slave. That's wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. It's wrong because that means if you're European, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe my understanding is wrong. So if I don't like European people and I hurt one because they're European, does that mean that I won't fall within that hate crime because they're trying to say that there is no such thing as hate against those people? That's not cool. That's not cool. And that's Sister Julie. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not an apologist. I'm just a logical thinking person. And I grew up around people who hated European people. I grew up around people who would, at least one would do some real damage to you if you were a certain ethnicity and you caught that person on a bad day. So am I okay with a young European guy? I don't know. Let's say he's 13 and somebody, an adult who is not European, beats the hell out of him because, I don't know, he's a white kid in the wrong neighborhood. That's still a hate crime, and that has to be prosecuted equally. So I have to go with it. I have to go with it. That, and I think sometimes when you put it in the perspective of a child, it means a little more because when you think about, you know, these brothers back here and they got is that an AK-47? My head is in the way. I can't see. He's got it behind me, which I'm okay with, by the way. But I think when you think about them, you think, oh, well, no, you know, you can't hate against them. But there are people who get caught up in this nonsense. And so I agree with that. I agree. And if I'm wrong, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But the last time I read, there was a list of who can be discriminated against and who can't. And I think there's a reason why they do that. They do that for division. They do that to divide people up. So that's a good one. I'm good with that. I don't have anything with that brother said. I think he's right. You can't discriminate when it comes to prosecution of hate crimes. Hate is hate. Hate is hate. Hate ain't great. That's why y'all need to stop voting for Democrats and Republicans, because they do this nonsense. And you can't tell me that they didn't make a discriminatory list for nothing. They did that intentionally. But, you know, we're not going to go there. Let's keep moving. Let's look at some more signs. I don't want to hold y'all down too long. What do we got here? There's another group of people. Got to be heard. Let's be heard. Oh, dang. I shrunk myself. Look at that. Put myself under his bunk. And you don't want to go under his bunk. You don't know what. Listen. They hide some stuff. I watched them shows. I watched those reality prison shows. Boy, there's some slick brothers. There's some enterprising brothers in those things. So what we got here? Martin's dream is forever. I agree with that. I agree it's forever. Hell yes, forever. He had a dream. The Democrats and the Republicans hate that dream. They want to put all y'all in prison. They want to stack them in like they're slaves in a slave boat. Look at the prison behind. So I agree with the sign, and the sign positive. I love that. That's true. Martin's dream should be forever. And I think it's important to talk about what Martin believed in. He didn't believe in marching separately. He didn't believe in division. He didn't believe in fighting hate with hate. He didn't believe in anger. He believed in peaceful protesting, which is the exact opposite of what a lot of y'all doing. So I think that it would be important to keep Martin's dream alive for all races and perhaps in all protests, if we want to learn from his example, because I think it's kind of pointless to praise his birthday, to find it a shame the things that he fought for. You're fighting like you're on the other side of what he was fighting. So that's on the unity message. I love it. I'm with it. Let's get some more sides. Let's do some sides today, y'all people. What we got here? End white supremacy. Oh, that's a good one. This is where I'm gonna get in trouble. This is where I'm gonna get me in some trouble. End white supremacy. That's deep. That's deep. I'm gonna chew on that. End white supremacy. So I think that all supremacy is bad. And I think that that's a difficult topic. All supremacy is bad. But I think in terms of human life, which is where I'm focused, human life, I think the danger to human life is American supremacy. And I think any supremacy is dangerous, right? It's all about equality. I think that the ruling elite supremacy is dangerous. I think that Washington supremacy is dangerous. We know that Democrat supremacy is far more dangerous, and we know Republican supremacy is dangerous. So I'm okay with the sign. I'm not sure that we agree, though, with why the sign is there. I think that that's on that debate about, that, the whole white privilege debate, that all white people just doing good. They can click a button, they can do anything they want, and just money just falls out the sky. Like this, money, 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 money. And that just is not the truth. That is Ruth. That is not the truth. I know some white brothers and sisters that live in dirt, quite literal dirt. And I know, of course, black brothers and sisters that just live in despicable circumstances. But I also know that there's a such thing as black supremacy, and there's black privilege. And I saw a whole lot of it. So I agree that there shouldn't be any supremacy. I agree that if we can keep the conversation equal, we don't have to throw a race in there. I don't think that we have to throw a gender in there. Oh man, you talking about male supremacy? Oh no, that's a whole different topic. That stuff is still, boy. So I think this is what gets us in trouble. We like to throw genders and races and names and numbers. I think we need to focus a little more on equality, because I think sometimes when you have signs like that, they cause problems. And if unity is the intent, anything that does not bring unity is the problem. And so I personally wouldn't be carrying that sign, but I get it. In the background, what do we got? Uh-oh. Somebody's a little rough in the background. Is that say minority mutiny? Something minority mutiny. Oh no, I don't agree with none of that. Nope. You got the wrong word at the base there, brother. That's no. Why? Because if there's one thing that Washington understands, oh Lord, if there's one thing, I was about to go to church for a minute, but if there's one thing that our government understands, it's violence. Oh, it's violence. And this is why I agree with the Martin Luther King sign. And y'all need to pay a little more attention to who Martin Luther King was and who he taught. We can all sit out there and sing Martin, but if you don't know, if you never heard his speeches and you don't even know what he stood for, and you're out there marching, yelling, and screaming, then maybe you shouldn't be promoting him so much, because you don't really know what the brother stood for. So mutiny, no, there can be no mutiny, because it's too late. Your Democrats and your Republicans have already rolled out the police state. Violence they get, which is why I keep saying, you teach your children, when the police say do it, do it. Do not protest through your children. Do not be that ignorant. Do not, this stand your ground is the most ignorant speech I've ever heard. It comes from parents who voted for these people, who put the police state in, and now they got their kids sending a message for them. And they're not going to prison. It's the kids that are going to prison. They're not getting, oh man, sometimes I get a little upset. I don't want to get upset. Kids, if y'all are out there and you hear me, and adults are telling you to stand your ground and don't listen to the police, tell them to go to hell. When those police show up, you do precisely what they say. Why? Because the ignorant adults who told you that, they got books to sell, they got careers to make, and they love watching you die on YouTube. I'm sorry, they do. And they post a lot of it. You do exactly what the police tell you to do. You live, and you go home and tell the story. That's what we need. We don't need to see any more kids dying in these videos. There are a lot of wise enough adults who understand stop and frisk, and they understand that this stuff needs to go away. But what we need you to do is we need you to live. We need you to go to college. We need you to get your education. We need you to be around to fix this. So we need your story more than we need you to do something stupid so they can sell a book. Calm down, bring it down a little bit. I'd like to keep a smile on my face. I don't like to get upset. But no, mutiny, bad sign. Delete that. I will not be carrying that sign anywhere around me because violence they get. All right, so let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Uh-oh, I see something kind of interesting. What we got here? Another sign. Another sign. What we got? Sign. Wow. Wow. Hey, I see some bad words. That's bad. My father used to spank me for certain words. That might be a bad word. Oh, cops, pigs, murderers. Whoa. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. What do I think about cops, pigs, murderers? All right, cops. I don't have an issue with cops. How many times I've been let off by the police? I love those. Listen, I'm yes sir, no sir, and it feels real weird being my age, looking at somebody who's 20 something talking about some yes sir, no sir. But listen, the area I grew up, I know how to speak to police, and I teach my kids to speak to them. I don't have an issue with the cop part. Pig and the murderer part, I got an issue with. One, because with the whole pig thing, all you're doing is you're pissing off, the boys in blue. And again, those are our brothers and sisters. Those are our neighbors. They're us. Why in the heck would you want to piss them off by pulling into those names? Murderers, no. Well, okay, hang on. Yes, some police have murdered. Let's be real, let's be honest. But teachers murder too. Doctors murder every damn day. Priests, I'm not sure of any priests. Well, no, priests murder. Yep, priests murder. I think if we went down every profession, we'd realize that there are murderers in all those groups. So I'm good with this if you can, talk about all the professions that murder. Besides the fact, I know we still have an issue where you're more likely to get murdered by somebody of your own race than police. And I think that's a fact that we can't really get lost in. Do police do some of the wrong things? Yes, they do. Do they need to be held accountable? Yes, they do. But I think we get lost in this message in terms of yelling and screaming at police instead of trying to resolve the problem. And the problem is most of the people who hold the signs are the ones who voted for the laws that send armed men in the communities where children live, in their school grounds where armed citizens live, to take away their rights they were promised in the Constitution, civil rights and human rights. So, and of course, anytime you send armed men into crowds of people to take away their rights, bad things are going to happen and bad decisions are going to be made on both sides and people are going to die. So my big issue with this sign is it doesn't talk about who shares a lot of the accountability. It doesn't talk about the politicians who wrote the laws, who send them in there. And it doesn't talk about the people who keep voting for the same damn politicians from the same damn parties that keep sending armed men to go take away the rights of people who were born with those rights. So I wouldn't stand behind that sign. I can't get on board with that one. That one, I think, while it is true, it's designed to promote fake news, where I like to talk about everybody involved in a problem. So there's some other signs there in the background. Let me see. I have to zoom in. I'm not sure if y'all can see them. It says violence begets violence. Love it. Yes, brother. You're right on that one. Another one says justice for Mike Brown. I'm with that one. I remember the Mike Brown story, and I agree with that one. But once again, I have to defer to the fact that we can't talk about those who if we just go after the messenger, we don't fix anything. All we do is we perpetuate the problem. So you got to go after the messenger because the messenger did some wrong stuff. That was a tough video to watch. However, we also have to You know, why can't somebody sell some cigarettes? And that was Mike Brown, if I'm not mistaken, that case. He was selling cigarettes, or he was selling tapes of videos or something. I think it was cigarettes. Why can't he sell cigarettes? This is back to, again, survival mode. If you legislate survival mode and you take away people's rights to live in a free market economy and do what is protected under the Constitution, then they're going to do things that you don't want them to do. And then you send, thank you, Brother Emil. And then you send armed men in the neighborhoods to get him from doing something because he doesn't have a license, because corporations want to make more money and they want to legislate out any sort of competition. So I agree, you got to have justice for Mike Brown, but you also got to look at why it happened. We can't just deal with what happened, what had happened, and ignore why it happened. Otherwise, it keeps happening. So I'm good with the sign, but I think we need a little more information on that one. I think we need to keep talking root cause analysis. Just keep going. Don't shoot Black Lives Matter. I agree with that one. Don't shoot Black Lives Matter. I would love for somebody to do some research. I saw something in a post the other day, and it said something about, I'm not sure if I'm gonna say it because I'm not sure how true it is, but it was indicating that police officers are just as predisposed to having an altercation with a white male as with a black male. That's something that I didn't know to be true, and it might be true. I don't know. But I'd love to know a little more about that. It would be interesting, and I think it might be very healing to know if in certain communities they come down on them as much. And the reason why mostly is because all of this is for money. You know, it's emotional to talk about racism, and people like to do it because it gets post likes and people share it and we all pat each other on the back. You know, we start yelling. But the reality is nobody went to Africa for racism. They did it because it made money. No one went and caught slaves because they just wanted to put black people back on the plantation, the slaves. No, they had to actually pay them. The government wrote laws to require poor whites to go catch them. Poor whites used to cheer it. They didn't want slaves taking their jobs. So, and of course, after you built up the economy, that's a whole nother situation. But if you build an economy that's based on putting, based on human capital, we're not going to change it quickly because, and so I understand where the South was coming from with that. For the same reason I said before. What you have right now, I got a mouse in my hand right now, and there's a fan right there keeping me nice and cool. There's a light in my face to make my green screen work. And all of it, the vast majority was built on slave labor. Am I willing to give it all up? Now, I don't know if I would fight a revolution to keep it, but I think we got to try to keep things in perspective. So, all right. So let's find some more signs. I don't want to hold y'all too long. I'm just having a little fun with some signs today. Because I would like to know what everybody's so angry about. I'm angry about this. This is what bothers me. This, putting people in cages and killing people. I think that's the bad thing. But everybody else mad and they fighting. And the same people they're putting in the same spot back here on the same slave ship are fighting each other. That's what we got here. Black Lives Matter too. Yes, they do. And he's got an Obama hat on. Ooh, this is where I get in trouble. Hold on. Am I gonna say it? Am I gonna say it? Am I gonna say it? Okay, I'm gonna say it this way. Keeping it real. Keeping it real as really real can get. There isn't a president I recall that ever gave a damn legislatively about Black Lives Mattering too. There isn't one that exists. There isn't one. And how do I know that? Because I read laws. I don't watch many speeches because I really don't give a damn about what politicians have to say. I learned that a long time ago when we fought with children's rights. You never listen to what the politician says. You never look at the name of the law. You always look at the laws that they write. And here are the facts The facts are, any administration can end modern slavery anytime they choose. Any of them. Why? Trump has proven that. You've got executive orders, you've got directions for the DEA for what to schedule and Schedule 1 and the war on drugs, and that's why 70% of all slavery in the United States is rolling hot and popping, making the South look like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. So, you brother, I get the sign, and I'm with you on the sign. You're going to have to lose the hat, though. That's just real. I'm not here to make anybody feel good, and I'm not going to ever cheer anybody because of their race. I will always look at what you do. And it's not about race, right? It's not even about that president's race. It's about law. What laws did you write? Who did you write them for? And it was very clearly, it was about the banks, and it was about Wall Street, and it was about human capital and human trafficking, and that legacy was maintained. I'm going to stop there because I get a little upset. People, read people. Read the law. Read the law. All right, so I get a little emotional. I don't want to get emotional. Okay. Black Lives Matter. Of course, I agree. So do white lives. We want justice. Yes, we do want justice. And I like that sign. But more than justice, I'm not focused on justice so much. Get the justice, but we definitely got to solve the problem. It's not just about justice is pointless if you don't resolve the laws that make slavery so profitable. Otherwise, you're going to hold that justice sign forever. Which brings up a good point. So, Black Lives Matter got $100 million from the Ford Foundation. And so, we want to talk about justice. Here's my biggest concern with that money. My biggest concern with that money is I think that money is going to help with justice. I don't think that money is necessarily going to help with prevention, because if the group, I think people are looking to promote justice and push justice, but not enough people are talking about resolution and cure. I think most banter I hear is about treating symptoms, not curing the problem. And the problem are the laws and the politicians. You could take $100 million. You know what you could do with $100 million? You probably could take out all the key congressmen that keep the war on drugs going. And you could actually make 70 to 80% of Black Lives Matter again, and White Lives Matter, by getting the DEA out of the communities and letting people going back to farming their own medicine and just leave people. Do you know? We're going to talk about drugism. Everybody want to talk about racism. I'm going to talk about drugism. Do you know, most of you are smart enough to realize now that cannabis is medicine. You realize that we weren't dumb enough to walk across this planet and carry seeds for a plant just to get high. That the ancients, the shaman, and the medicine men and the medicine women were actually carrying these seeds and cultivating this plant because it healed people. And it made them feel a little good and dealt with pain. Did you know cocaine was medicinal? What? That's not what I saw. I grew up, it was like they took they took an egg, put it in a pan. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. And it's kind of crazy because it drills into your head that drugs are bad, drugs are bad, drugs are bad. And that's more of that Clinton crime bill, war on drugs nonsense. But the reality is, most of these things are medicinal in certain amounts. So I'm against the whole thing. I think that $100 million could make a lot of lives matter if they choose to spend it that way. I'm afraid that that's probably not going to be what happens. Okay, Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm good with all those signs. I'm good with the sign. Let's see who else we got. And I think is that it for my sign? Nope, I got a couple more signs, y'all. What we got? These are a lot of Black Lives Matter rallies, I think, in Antifa. I want to see some White Lives Matter signs. Let's see what we got up here. Unite against racism and fascism. I'm good with that. Unite. As long as y'all know what unite means. What is it? How do you unite with the people? Well, okay, as an example. If I want to unite with someone to do something, I'm not going to tell them what they have to, I'm not going to tell them how I can talk to them. I'm going to let them determine what level of respect I have to show for them when we unite. And the reason why I'm saying this, I have a lot of brothers who are European, and they got a problem with the whole white privilege thing. They don't like they don't like the assault on white men. They have an issue with terms like white supremacy and white fragility. Not just because they're racial terms, but because those terms are directly affecting them. And some of them are quite poor and haven't seen a bit of privilege. Whether I agree or disagree with those racial terms, if I want to unite with that brother or that sister, and I don't show them the respect that they're asking for, there will be no unity. We will not be uniting. They will be fighting me, in which maybe they should. So when we talk about unity, we have to talk about ego too, and whether or not we're serious about uniting or we're serious about strong arming someone into getting them to do what we want. And that's not unity, that's called authoritarianism. So I'm good with the sign, love the sign, but I don't think we know what unity is. I don't think that we care about unity. I think we care about selling books and power plays and things like that. What we got here? Is his life worth less than mine? Is his life worth more than mine? Absolutely, absolutely not. So that's a good sign. Love it, love it. Nothing to say on that. That sounds like some equality to me. So, I mean, I know people on both sides have no interest in equality. They're just some thugs and they want superpower. But what we got here? Black Lives Matter. I'm just going to do a few more. What's in the back? Of course, Black Lives Matter is true. And we got a lot of good European folks in the front and some Asian. Love, love, love that. Hopefully, we will see you at the rally next week with a sign that says White Lives Matter too. Black Lives Matter. Pray for Baltimore. Oh, this must be Baltimore. This right down the street, Baltimore. You know, I went to Baltimore not too long ago, and I had to leave. I couldn't stay. I went to the Inner Harbor, and you know, when I got there, I saw Homeland Security trucks everywhere. I can't get down like that. I can't enjoy myself with my family and, hanging out, and I got people with AK-47s and M16s, but that's a whole other discussion. So definitely pray for Baltimore, and of course Black Lives Matter, because all lives matter. All right, what we got here? I'm still not seeing what the media is showing. I'm not seeing crazy, angry stuff. We got white people. Okay, it's two white people. It's a letter, y'all. It's a letter. It's the white people. If y'all, I don't believe in race terms, but that's what y'all believe. These look like might be clergy. What you got? White people. What will we do today to change our legacy of violence? That's deep. What will we do today to change our legacy of violence? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's a hard one. That's a hard one to talk about, because was it white people's legacy of violence is the question I asked myself. I also asked myself, is there a question mark? Or the email, is there a question mark? I don't know that that's a question mark. Does that matter? What we do today to change our legacy of violence? Oh, I see what you're saying. That could change the whole meaning. Okay. So I and maybe those aren't robes. Maybe that's not clergy. Oh, the brothers, the white nationalists, they had the uniform. So let me move myself out the way. Yeah, that may not be clergy, but I don't know. I don't think I could hold that sign up, and the reason, well, first of all, because the Irish folks that are within me, I don't think that they would like for me to hold that sign up. But more importantly, again, it's walking down this road that a single group of people are violent. A single group of people And all people from all continents, all races, all ethnicities, we've all engaged in some of the most horrible violence ever. So I think the legacy of violence, the only grouping you can do, it has to do with the rulers, right? It has to do with the ruling elite's violence more than any racist violence. And in fact, I'd probably argue the point that most white people, like black people, like yellow people and purple people and green people since the beginning of time are poor. The vast majority were poor. And so I understand violence from those who are impoverished, right? That's what we see in the extreme sides of the right and the left. So yeah, I'm not on the board with that sign. I don't think you need to ask that question. I think you need to ask the question is, what will we do today to change the legacy of the elite's violence? I think that's more of a question. I think that's the important question. This right here just looks like guilt to me. And there might be a question mark on there. I'm not sure. But to me, that looks like more guilt. And we don't need guilty warriors, y'all. When it comes to uniting with people, we don't need guilty warriors. We need prideful people. We need people who love who they are and love who you are too. And that doesn't start with a guilt trip. So, not on that one. So, let me see. I think I only got one. Do I have one more sign? All right. I'm only going to do one more sign because we done held this down for a long time. And maybe we'll do some other signs at another time. Try to figure out why everybody's so angry today. What we got here today. White lives matter too much. Woo! Really? Yeah, I had to do the big lips on that. Woo! Wow, that's deep. No way in hell I'm mad. I think white lives can't matter too much, and black lives can't matter too much. I think yellow lives can't matter too much. Don't like that sign, sister. I'm not on that boat. I can't. What does her other sign say? What is to be done? I told you what's to be done. I don't think she's listening to me. Damn it, your laws are screwed up. Until you fix your laws, none of your lives matter. All right, we're getting a lot of partialness here. Let me find some signs first of all from the other side, the side that y'all would not expect me to talk about. Let's do that. Can we do some of them? All right. So what we got here? This is from a rally in front of the NAACP. I can't see that sign too well. Hold on. So it looks like they went down in front of the NAACP. And they got a sign that says white lives matter, which is true, and I have no issue with that. And we also got the Dixie flag and the American flag, two flags that killed a lot of people. So I don't get in that debate. I have no interest in that fight. All right. So let's talk about probably what didn't happen on that day that probably should have happened on that day. So if we look at the example by the pastor who, you know what? Let me play a video. Y'all mind if I play a video? I think we have to have a quick review of, what do you do with hate? How do you deal with hate? And a lot of people, sometimes you post videos and people don't watch them. And give me a minute. Let me cue this up. It was about the black pastor who took on the Klan. And I want to show you this video because I think some people don't watch videos. And videos are important. Okay. Now, I'm going to try to make this work. Y'all going to have to forgive me. If it doesn't work, I think it'll work. I know it'll work. It'll work. I want y'all to watch just a minute or two of this brother's testimony. I think it's important. Here we go.
Luther King. And when you got to this debate, he held out his hand for you to shake.
Yes, he did.
Did you hesitate?
he caught me off guard. See, I'm expecting this black militant to come in with a great big afro this big, and an African dashiki on with bones hanging around it, and a button on that says "I hate honkies" and "Death to crackers," you know, all that stuff. And I figured he'd have on a
You
black...
seriously thought
Yeah,
that?
that's what I thought. And I thought he'd come in there carrying a boom box, blaring out the theme from Shaft. I figured he'd flash a switchblade at me and go, "Black is beautiful, honky. I'm gonna kill all you white devils," you know. That's what I thought I was gonna see. So when the door opened up and in came Reverend Wade Watts, and he's wearing a suit and a tie, and he's carrying a Bible, and he walks up and he puts his hand out to me. He goes, "Hello there, Mr. Clare. I'm Reverend Wade Watts. I just want to tell you I love you and Jesus loves you." And I mean, I'm shocked, you know. And then he puts his hand out, and I'm shaking his hand without thinking, because this wasn't what I was expecting. Then I realized I just broke a Klan rule, and I jerked my hand back, you know. And I started looking at my hand, which he saw that, and that was meant as an insult. The Klan rule book says the physical touch of a non-white is pollution. And I thought, I just shook hands with a black person, and he sees me looking at my hand. He goes, "Don't worry, Johnny, it don't come off." And you know, I start calling him names. I go, "You no good, sorry, bleep, 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 you mother this, you that." And he looked at me and goes, "God bless you, Johnny." He says, you can't do enough to me to make me hate you. I'm going to love you, and I'm going to pray for you whether you like it or not." And I didn't know how to deal with that. I had never had that happen to me before.
A few years later, you burnt down his church, didn't you?
Set fire to his church. See, what happened was we started off going by his house, calling him names. We got no response. Threw trash all over his lawn. Got no response. We showed up with our sheets and hoods and stood out there in his yard. Said, "Get on out here, boy. We got something for you." And he comes outside and he goes, "Boys, Halloween's 4 more months away. I got no trick-or-treat in here for you. Come back in October." And he goes back in the house.
That's a brave man.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know how to deal with this. And so the Klan goes, "You got any more bright ideas?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I'll tell you what we'll do." So we burned a cross across the street from his house. He came outside and asked us if we needed hot dogs and marshmallows for our barbecue, you know. So finally, I said, "I'm tired of messing with him," and we set fire to his church. And they put the fire out before the church was destroyed. And I remember I called him up and disguised my voice, and I said, "Hey, boy, you better be afraid. We're coming to get you, boy. You don't know who we are, but we know who you are." And he goes, "Hello, Johnny." And all that stuff. He goes, "A man like you takes the time to call me. I'm so honored." And all that stuff. He goes, "Let me do something to you." He goes, "Dear Lord, please forgive Johnny for being so stupid. He doesn't mean to be so ornery. He's a good boy trying to get out somewhere in there." And I hung up the phone on him. I said, "How dare him?" And so the funniest thing that happened with him, though, is I didn't know what to do. And I was at my ropes in. And one day we was watching him, and he went into a restaurant. So we got a bunch of us together, and about 30 of us went in there and surrounded him. And he had this chicken there on the table at the restaurant. And I walked up and I said, "Hey, boy, this restaurant's for white people only. We don't want you here." I said, "So I'm going to make you a promise." I said, "I promise you we're going to do the same thing to you that you do to that chicken. So you think real hard before you touch that chicken." So he looked at me and looked at the Klan. Then he picked up the chicken and he kissed it. And when he kissed the chicken, the whole restaurant acted just like y'all did. They all start laughing, you know, and everything. And I looked up, and even the Klan was laughing. You got to admit, that was funny. I said, every one of you outside. I'm outside, and they're doubled over laughing. I'm going, "You guys are going to get suspended and lose your robe for 2 weeks." I said, "I'm getting tired of this." And I'm hollering at them and yelling, and they're laughing. I heard a horn honking, and Reverend Watts is driving off going, "Bye, Johnny," you know, and stuff. And that's how he chose. That's how one old black, we never bothered him again. And that's how one old black man defeated the entire Ku Klux Klan. Because he used this instead of brawn.
And he used this too, a very brave man.
His heart, yeah.
So, we'll stop with that. He didn't tell the entire story in that one, but there are other videos where he actually gives his full testimony. And so he went on to actually go out to the pastor's, out to his deathbed when he died. And he kissed him and he told him he loved him. And it's important to really, and I get in this discussion a lot with people when they want to talk about, what do we do? And I don't think we need to think about what to do. We have good examples of how to deal with hate. I mean, you listen to what he said, humor, love. We know how to resolve hate. We know how to do this. We are not stupid people. We are intelligent people. Now, some people are angry because, again, they grew up in certain conditions and they got that warrior gene, they got that anger. But we know how to resolve it. We don't need to invent a new way. We don't need to write any new legislation. We don't need to ask the ignorant politicians who have orchestrated all of this through legislation, well-meaning or not, whether they knew what they were doing or not, creating these conditions that bring hate out. And so I think that if there were anybody in that building who really wanted to resolve the hate in their community and who really wanted to solve this problem, they would have came out. They would have talked to them. And they would have tried to find out, and maybe they did. Maybe that's who's in the corner over there, you know. But I think for those of us who want to try to figure out how to use anger to solve hate, you don't need to invent any way for anger to solve hate, dummy. It's already been done, you know. And then Daryl, what's his name? Is it Daryl Dixon? Daryl, the brother who goes down with the Klan. You know, I think Daryl Dixon is from The Walking Dead. I'm sorry. I think that might be the wrong brother. But you know, he goes down and he meets with the Klan, and he sees how they operate, and he makes friends with them. So again, if you pay attention to people who actually are solving problems, that's who you want to replicate. That's who you want to listen to. You don't want to listen to politicians who need careers and leaders who got books to sell, because I can't say that they're either smart enough to know how to solve the problem, or they don't give a damn to solve the problem because they're trying to possibly perpetuate it or just not resolve it. So I guess this is from the same rally, and this is got a couple flags and the brother with his gun, and you know, I suppose that's threatening to some people. It's not really threatening to me. I don't like to see it, but I don't have any issues with guns. I got a government that far more scares me when they got guns than this brother with his gun. So I'm not worried about that. All right. So we went through a whole bunch. I got one more, just one more, and I'm gonna let y'all go. What we got here? We got. I'm not sure this is a sign. It's something that looks like a piece of Klan paraphernalia. It's not racist to love your people. Totally agree with that, Klan. That's true. It's not racist to love your people. White lives matter. I agree with that too. Looks like we got a little signature from the Klan. Oh, that's nice and pretty. And then we got some detail to read over there in the corner. It talks about the Neighborhood Watch program. It was invented in the 1970s and the 80s, and all the good it did in reducing crime. It says that the first community watch were organized by the Ku Klux Klan. That is true. That is all true. The first community watch, and hashtag White Lives Matter. And this is true. And that's why the Democrats invented the Klan, was to do community watch. And they watched the hell out of the community. Thank you, Democrats. But I think the more important issue, though, is I said it before, and I'll end it on this, is that sometimes you have to look at where people are going and not look at where they are. And what I've noticed from my brothers in the Klan and the white nationalists is that the message is shifting, and it's been shifting. It's been shifting from a message of we can't live together to we can live together. I guess we can cheer that progression towards a moderate position, or we can make it angrier and we can push them back the other way by fighting and showing more hate against their hate. I think we need to pay attention to the examples that have already been set, and how to cure this stuff and make it go away. Last thing I'll say is that it's a human right to not like you. It's a human right. I got people who don't like me. I don't know why. I love them. I love you. Don't like me. That's okay, because I love you. Yeah, I'm talking to you right there. I love you. But it's your right to not like me, and I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's not going to affect my day one bit. The problem when people hate you is when they can use it to hurt you or change your day or do something against you. And that has a lot to do with whether or not they're being reinforced. And usually hate from the very beginning, with going back to the Farmers Alliance, it was legislated. So I think that's where the battle begins and the battle ends. And I think when people stop having reasons to hate and we stop cheering the politicians that are legislating survival mode to funnel all the money up to Wall Street so they can put all the brothers in these places right here, I think hate goes away. Hate doesn't. I got tagged in something this morning. It was a post. It was a good video. There were college students reacting to an old hate speech. It was an old fascist video, I think, where this guy got up on the podium and he was talking about, he was trying to rally people on the message of hate and the others. And I'm okay with that. I don't care. If you want to go up on a stage and talk about something, it's your right. You are an American citizen. You can go talk about it. What I care about is if the politicians are writing legislation that are putting people in survival mode that give those folks an audience. That's the problem. Because you can be as angry as you want and you can talk hate and fascism, whatever, it's your right. I don't care if you hate me. But if you use my tax dollars to funnel money to Wall Street to make them wealthier, to give that man an audience instead of people just and walking on by, that's where my problem lies. So anyway, y'all, it's been a long one. I appreciate it. Once again, if you commented, I'll read your comment, read all the comments. I appreciate the likes and the shares. Y'all have a good day. Stay on the message unity. Don't ever back down when people start spewing hate, want to fight hate with hate. Always refer back to the professionals and the people who actually resolve these type of situations. Don't ally up with people who are guessing, making the problems worse. Love y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. And stay away from them bears, man.